And while I was in Tanzania, I was really struck by how much just a little bit of geoscience knowledge could have a transformative impact on some of the communities. I saw projects that had failed because of a lack of understanding of geoscience by the international NGOs who have been putting these projects in place. So, for example, they'd done the surveys at the end of the rainy season when the groundwater was closest to the surface. And then as soon as the dry season came and the water table dropped, those water projects stopped working. So when I was doing my undergraduate course, I was studying natural hazards very much from a geological point of view. In the same university, there were people thinking of reducing risk to disasters caused by natural hazards from an architectural point of view, from an engineering point of view, from a social science point of view, from the human geography perspective. And never were we given the opportunity to talk to each other, to learn how to speak each other's languages, to think of, or to better understand the types of data and methods that different disciplines use. And actually all of the issues with sustainability and all of the sustainable development goals are interdisciplinary challenges that can't be solved by one discipline or another. So I think part of our reshaping mission is about building bridges with other disciplines, creating opportunities right at the start of the training of a geoscientist so it becomes part of their culture.
What do you mean, what we all mean for sustainability?
One of the widely used definitions came from the Brundtland report, which was published a while back now, which talks about meeting the needs of today without compromising the ability of those in the future to meet their needs.
The UN Sustainable Development Goals are 17.
Yeah.
So could geology help with all the 17?
I think geology can help with all of those goals. So I think there are some goals where it's the core understanding of Earth dynamics and Earth resources that can really help to deliver that goal. And I think a goal such as clean water and sanitation is a very good example of that. And that's such an important goal when you think of the impact that lack of clean water has on health, on education, on gender equality, on decent work. But there are other goals where the geoscience community needs to take responsibility for how it works, the way in which it does its work, in order to help deliver that goal. So gender equality, for example, delivering gender equality means everybody has to take responsibility for that. The global engineering community or the global ecology community isn't going to take responsibility for ensuring gender equality in the geoscience community. We have to take responsibility for that.
How would you describe the relationship between the geological community to core and these United Nations Sustainable Development Goals?
Maybe a desire to work together, a desire to partner, but perhaps a lack of understanding as to how to do that, or what it means, perhaps a little bit of kind of uncertainty as to what it is that a geologist does from the UN side, and a little bit of a kind of uncertainty from the geoscience side as to how to be part of that conversation. In the UK, I think there is a really growing interest in embedding more material on sustainable development into the training of geoscientists. But I think to do that, we need to be willing to turn up in new places. So I think geoscientists will often go to geoscience conferences and talk to other geoscientists and listen to other geoscientists. But there are big global conferences around and meetings that are looking at the science needed to deliver the Sustainable Development Goals. The UN hosted one in 2018, and to the best of my knowledge, I'm fairly certain I was the only geologist in the room. We have to be willing to turn up on their doorstep and engage in their meetings and speak their language in order to really help ensure geoscience is connected into what they're doing. I do think that some of the engineering community are perhaps a step ahead of us in terms of bringing in some of the stuff around understanding the social, political, cultural context, and that being incredibly important in program and project design. So I think that's something that is very helpful.
What is your drive?
I think a fundamental belief that geology matters, that the understanding the Earth can result in better quality lives, can result in improved decision making, and altogether a more sustainable future for people. And I think connecting a passion for the natural environment together with this strong belief in the dignity of all people. I mean, I think if you read the opening couple of paragraphs to the Sustainable Development Goals in the full UN agenda, where it's talking about the importance of dignity for all people. It's talking about the fact that there is, for the first time ever, all world leaders have come together and articulated a plan of action to deliver a more sustainable future. I think it's incredibly stirring and incredibly inspiring, and I think that's kind of where this comes from. This passion for the natural environment, together with this strong belief in the dignity of all people, and this the idea that things can be done better than they are